Welcome to DarkChin.com. Today, we're going to play Fallout 4 on my Surface Book. So first things first, I wanted to talk about the initial setup over here. I have my Surface Book along with my Logitech G9, and it's a wired mouse. So for lagless performance without any issues, we will do that. I downloaded this thing and it is trying to do some updates apparently. I'm not sure, or it's trying to sync some save games. But we'll hit play, and right now the screen is set at the default 3000 by 2000. The my battery. Someone asked about how the battery performance is right now. It's not a great setup for batteries. I have 35% on one and 46 on the other. I noticed that playing on battery, the Surface Book tends to kind of sometimes it wants to go into like a power save mode. It seems, so it tends to lag. So I'm just going to show it running here first, and then I'm going to go and plug it in to the power adapter, just so to give it a good equal footing for gaming performance. Because to be honest, I'm not sure how much on the road gaming via battery I'll be doing, but uh, from my experience, it seems so far that after a certain amount of time, it gets a little bit slower and it gets kind of laggy a bit sometimes because it seems like the system by itself wants to go into kind of a power save mode. Um, so yeah, that's kind of I have to experiment with that a little bit more to determine that. But for now, which I want to show how it performs plugged in. Right now, we'll just start it up. And one of the funny things I found is when I first booted it up, it went into low settings. But one of the funny things, if you go to the options, it has a quirky time trying to get it to run in the 3000 by 2000. It defaulted 800 by 500, which is absolutely abysmal. And it actually is not in full screen mode. It's kind of grayed out over here. If you see that, it says window mode is kind of it's assuming it wants to be in a window, which is not ideal. So how I found the best way to run this is to actually drop the resolution of the actual display. If I go to display settings and I drop this to on the advanced settings, drop it down to say 1920 by 1080, for example. It's a standard HD screen, and keep the changes. It seems to be nicer. Now, although that's not that great either. 1920 by 1200 is more ideal actually. So we'll go there and we'll keep those settings. And now if I play it, here are the options. As you see, it actually shows that's 1920 by 1200, and it allows for a full screen mode. So something about the Surface Book at being 3000 by 2000, it doesn't really know what to do with itself, and so it it's better to lower the resolution of the actual display before playing. So we'll look at the settings here. And so what it picked out for me is medium for texture quality, low for shadows, medium. So relatively kind of a medium build setup. The GeForce experience, I think, has some different settings. Let me just make sure that. Oh, hush you. Now, unfortunately, there are new drivers available for my other systems, but for the Surface Book, there are no new drivers. It's still at 354, so it's kind of unfortunate. And for Fallout 4 here, it basically has some optimization items, but obviously it says my system does not meet the minimum requirements, and so they're pretty abysmal. So I don't think it's worthwhile following along with this. You can try it, but I decided not to. So we'll get rid of that. Now we'll just start this up. So this can show a little bit of it this way before going into we're going in. So the frame rate monitor up in the corner, and right now it's showing about 60 frames per second, which is nice. And it actually looks quite good on this screen like this right here. So I'm going to continue my game from where I last left off. I didn't really get very far. I played for about an hour and 25 minutes, so I'm still kind of in the beginning area. I'm still level 1, so it's not, this is going to be relatively spoiler free because I haven't gotten very far in the game. So we see here, the shadows are kind of blocky, but overall performance-wise, seems pretty good. Frame rate right now is about 28, 27 frames per second, around 30 frames per second. So it's not horrible. I know the real serious gamers out there are going to balk at this low at a 30 frames per second, but it's actually quite playable. All right, so what I'm going to do is I want to continue this thing. I'm going to plug it in, plug it into my hotpog to do some video recording of the actual screen, so you don't need to see my system coming, and we'll see how it plays. Okay, so I'm plugged into my hotpog now, and the screen is now 1920 by 1080, being a standard HD screen, and we'll start the game up. Oh, before I do that, let me just talk about the battery. So I have it plugged in now, so it's charging both batteries. So it should hopefully have no issues playing the game. But as you saw before, it seemed relatively smooth at 30 frames per second, around that range, running on battery at about 30 some odd percent, or about 40% on one or the other. So it still seemed like it was all right. We'll start this up. Well, now the options. Now the options are kind of funky. Let's just choose. Well, let me see. Let's reset this. Because see, now it's weird. That's been kind of funny. Now it shows low settings for me at 1280 by 720. I think these look like the settings that the GeForce Experience wanted me to use. And it could be just the fact that it's at 1080 or no 1080p resolution. Let's just see what the. Let's just go back to GeForce Experience and take a look at if it matches up with what we have here. And still doesn't say that. But resolution wise is now matched up. So it looks like more or less the settings kind of matched up, except for these settings here. Well, I'm not going to bother with those. I'm going to leave them as is. So I'm going to ignore that. So, alright, well, can we force the issue? Can we force it to 1920 by 1080? And let's just go with the anisotropic off. And we'll keep these settings here. We'll just advance wise, we'll leave these the same. Hit OK. Let's play it. See what happens. Well, it's stretched outside. I think it looks a little stretched. It's kind of funny. Yeah, things look a little bit tall. Well, let's continue it anyway. Oh, I see what's going on. So it's interesting. On my overlay that's recording the video, it's actually a proper aspect ratio, but the 3000 by 2000 screen of the Surface Book actually ended up stretching the video to actually fill the entire screen, so there's no black bars. So it's kind of funny. So it looks a little taller on my display, but on the overlay for the recording, it actually looks okay. All right, so we can see over here that you see how blocky the shadows are with the way it's set up. If you ignore the settings, if you ignore the shadows, the meshes and stuff for the scenery actually look pretty decent. So I haven't really gotten very far in the game yet. I'm still in the first starter town, and I'm sort of going to make my way to the next town. So we can see out here. I'm going to go check this mailbox, pick up some grenades. I'll walk over to the bridge here and take a look out. See, with these low settings, the game actually still, in my opinion, still looks pretty decent. So there's some water effects down below. You see that there, the light reflection off of it. Now imagine if you have a more serious machine, this probably looks a hell of a lot nicer, but it's really not that bad. Pretty acceptable this way. Let's go wander a little bit. Alright, make sure I load it up. Alright, so this is how my guy looks like right now. I can put a hat on. And alright, let's keep going. The frame rate's at about 30 frames per second right now as I'm moving around. Hey, we meet dog meat.
Hey, boy. What are you doing out here all by yourself? You Who's your owner, buddy? Okay, then. Let's stick together.
Alright. Let's go explore this place. Alright, this is the famous place that's in a lot of the trailers, where normally you can have your armor here. Obviously, I don't have that yet. There. So these are these workbenches, which I haven't quite figured out exactly how to use yet. Weapons workbench, you can craft stuff for your pistols. All right. Hello. There's some rad moles here. Oh, hello. Oh, hello. He's over here. The next target over here. Over here. Who else wants some? Who else wants some? Oh, hello. There's one over here. Oh, action points. Alright. And I missed. There we go. Alright. Oops. Alright, grab some stuff off all these guys. Look at the details of these guys. Ooh, gruesome looking things. Let's see, there's one over here. So, from my understanding of this game so far, I read a few things online that it is a hoarder's dream, because almost everything in this game can be used for something, to craft something, and so someone like me who plays these games and picks up whatever they possibly can, this game will definitely appeal to that. There's the computer here. Check out some entries here. What we got here? So a lot of terminals here that give a lot of extra backstory. I'm not gonna bother reading all that right now. We'll just kind of move on for a little bit. Sewer cartons. Let's see what they can sell for. Alright, let's go and see what's over here. There's some things here. Oh, hello. Hard to use that sometimes. Wow, yeah, death shot. Nice. Come on. Yeah. Take that. That's a Brahmin. Okay. Where's the corpse? The ransack the corpses. I lost them. Or let's see. It's over here somewhere, I thought. Oh well, never mind. Let's keep going. So The town looks pretty nice. The graphics I think look pretty good. But then I don't have a monstrous graphics card to really say that this is good or bad. But it plays. I don't know. It plays pretty well. Right now it's at 40 frames per second. Drops a little bit down to 38 or so. Let's see if we can conserve some ammo and use this baton here. Yeah. All right. Some good stuff here. All right. Cash. That was good. Back. It's upstairs. Oh, bobby pins. Always use bobby pins for lockpicking. If you play the... Oops. Oh, that was good. I fell to the floor. Okay. If you played any of the previous Fallout games, a lot of this will feel very, very familiar. Which is, you know, not a bad thing. One thing about this game is you gotta save often, apparently, because if you die, you go back to your last save point. If you didn't save for a while, it's going to be a lot of lost progress. So, alright, I made it to Concord. Sweet. So, I don't want to keep this too long, but as you can see, the game, in my opinion, is pretty playable. The frame rate's about 45, 55 right now, frames per second. I think it's actually quite playable. And I think it looks pretty good, too. Even at these like low medium settings, I think the game is quite acceptable to look at. I don't have a monstrous enough video card to say what it looks like in full quality, so you'll have to judge for yourself. So I hope you found this video useful. You know, showing Fallout 4 on the Surface Book. If you have any questions or you want to see something that I haven't done yet on this, you know, please send me feedback. You know, I'd like to get feedback. If I can improve these things, let me know. And thanks for watching.